Let's see what you asked today. What do people mean when they talk about toxic masculinity? Is there such a thing as toxic femininity? All right. Compound question. What do they mean by toxic masculinity? It's sort of arbitrary because, how are we defining masculinity and femininity? But the toxic version of masculinity is the version where men are told it's not really okay to be emotionally intelligent or expressive, at least not with certain emotions. Maybe you can be angry, but you can't be sad. You can't talk to your friends about what a bad day you had because you got to be tough and you got to be independent and you got to just kind of shove that stuff down. You've got to take charge and you've got to make things happen. And you've just got to, always put on that sort of warrior front. And that can be really toxic, I think, for a lot of reasons. One of which is, as I've said elsewhere about gender, you're just missing out on half or more than half of the world and ways to be. And you're a complete human. So if you shut down half of that, you really miss out. Suddenly you define yourself by your sexual conquests or your athletic prowess, or you take a couple really narrow aspects of your life and you build them up as being so insanely important. And I've seen this, right? I'm playing softball with the guys and somebody's just throwing a huge tantrum. I saw this in bowling leagues as well. So it's any sport, and you mess up and you're punching the fence or you're throwing your bat or you're yelling and screaming at the ump or something. And it's like, what has happened here? And again, I think what's happened is that we've taken some tiny aspect of our life and we've made it such an important, integral part of our identity that we feel that we have to defend and protect it. And that if it comes under threat, then, something's wrong with us in some fundamental way. So with toxic masculinity, it ends up being very performative. It's a lot of posturing. It's a lot of gesturing. And I feel like the authenticity and the vulnerability is often lacking, which means you don't form genuine connections. You don't really get to know people when you're just, making stupid dick jokes or something like that. And there's a time and a place for all of the things. But again, when you limit yourself and you swing really far in one direction, extremes usually lack balance. Now, could there be toxic femininity? Absolutely. So once again, you've just got to think about what is society putting in the feminine box. If we're telling women that they have to be submissive and polite and relationship oriented and never put their own needs first, and then again, not branch out and experience the types of things that we've labeled masculine, then of course that can be super toxic as well. Women should also be allowed to experience the full range of human emotions and experiences. So yeah, when we say you have to be Rambo or Barbie, either side of the coin is seriously missing out and seriously lacking opportunity for growth, for expression, for new adventures and fun experiences. The whole thing is so dichotomous. There's no reason that, being more masculine makes you less feminine or vice versa. You can be really athletic and really graceful. You can be really logically intelligent and emotionally intelligent. So this idea that, cultivating one set of skills somehow means you have less of the other set of skills, it's just so silly. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So again, if we just let humans be humans, that seems like the only non-toxic way to approach gender. So I really appreciate this question. I'm really passionate about this topic. So hopefully some of that helps you all. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time.